Today I'm going to demonstrate deploying and managing a Galera cluster using a Docker container. So what I've done here is I've cloned my repo, I've done a Docker build, and I've tagged my image to access it a little more easily. So the next thing I'm going to do is a run and pass in some parameters. I'm going to say that I'm going to deploy the cluster and that I'm going to have a size of 3, which I'm going to fix now. And then after a few moments, I should see the bootstrap process go and then the cluster deployed. So what you're seeing right now is the database is initializing using a job. Once it's initialized, we'll launch the actual cluster containers and see them start to run, and then we will query MySQL on the first container to ensure that the size is actually 3. Okay, so the bootstrap job completed, and now what we see is our 3 containers launching. They're now running. So what we'll do is query MySQL. And there we go. The size is now 3. So another task that we're able to do is to resize. So here we'll do a grow task and go from 3 containers to 5. So what you'll see here is because the configuration changes on each container, we need to restart it for that to take effect. But generally, it's not a great idea to instantly down an entire Galera cluster. So what we're doing here is waiting for each one to terminate, bringing up the new one, and then moving on. So we'll see each of these terminate one by one, and then 4 and 5 come up immediately after they've gone through their process. All right, so we can see that we now have 5 containers running, and MySQL agrees that the cluster size has increased to 5. So another task we can do with this is to shrink the cluster in the same way. And of course, that will require some cleanup of any extra containers that are still running after we've gotten to the number that we require. So we can do a resize just like we've done and put in a smaller number now. Again, the configuration on each container will need to change, so we'll see each of the first four terminate one by one, do a rolling restart basically for the new configs to take effect, and then we should see the fifth container go away. And when we query MySQL, we should see that it agrees the new cluster size is 4. All right, and we'll just give the fifth container a moment to terminate, and then we'll query the first to ensure that the cluster size has moved down to 4. There we go. Took another second, but the cluster is down to 4, to a size of 4. And finally, the last thing we can do is tear down the entire cluster if we want to. And there you go. We can see that the entire cluster is now terminating.